shine your eyes, make you no carry last. Kokoro tonja for, be a follower. Anytime morning, you shine it on the fire, make you the shine your eyes. Bang the song, my pen in the song. Talk to yourself and listen to yourself. Oh, to yo. You talk to what I want when you come put to me for trouble, yo. For trouble, yo. Me, I don't care. Waiting and say, who's on the flex out with me when battle there? Your best friend could be your worst enemy, so shine your eye, so shine your eye. Follow anytime morning is shining, so shine your eyes, make you no carry last. Kokoro tonja for, be a follower. Anytime morning is shining, tito the fire, make you the shine your eyes. Oba Oluwa lo le gbani.
Welcome to this Wednesday edition of the Bumper Breakfast. Good morning. How are you all doing? How was your night? Is a question I always say people should not ask. It's how did you sleep? How was your night? Do you want to come and check it? Are you a monitoring spirit? There's just something inappropriate according to people about how was your night. It's just how did you sleep? Hope you all woke up on the right side of your minds this morning. My name is Tomise, and it's always a pleasure being here with you on a typical day like this. And of course, the birthday girl herself joins us this morning on the Bumper Breakfast. So happy birthday to you, Mariam. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Tom.
What are you feeling like?
I feel like a queen. I'm feeling so.
This birthday girl.
In fact, I don't even know what to say.
You are even lucky that I didn't do a dress today. I would have been competing with you.
Yes. God wants me to shine alone.
I'll be shine.
But then Tommy is always looking
shine
elegant.
your shine.
Yes, so happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday
me.
to you, babe.
I wish myself long life and prosperity.
Amen.
And to every other celebrant.
Oh, okay.
bless
Yes, that's
you
true.
all.
You must
God
have
bless
birthday
you all.
meet somewhere across
Yes,
the
to
world.
Bande, happy birthday to you too.
All right, it's an exciting day, and of course, we get to take a look at the papers. And just as we move on the bumper breakfast this morning, we'll be talking about how Nigerian women treat their house elves. We'll be talking about that, and of course, don't forget the part 2 of our conversation last week of how men. Why men keep quiet when they're abused is also there for us. The part 2 comes at you hot this morning. So don't miss any part of the bumper breakfast. As a matter of fact, if you intend to stand up, get seated, get settled, and get your cup of coffee ready as we go on this journey together. Let me just take a look at some of the stories that made the front page of the papers I have with me this morning. And I'll begin with the Guardian newspaper that begins with experts divided over NNPC board as Buhari writes Senate to amend the PIA. Buhari proposes structural amendment to the Petroleum Act 2021. Stakeholders expressed disappointment, raised concerns over investors' confidence. Nigeria's oil and gas sector may be business as usual despite the PIA. Increased percentage on PIA profits to host communities, Yoruba Forum canvasses. Northern region in crisis needs help to avert Afghanistan scenario. El Rufai pleads. Jaga Utomi Duke, others float new political party. Police retires storm National Assembly over contributory pension scheme. PDP challenges Buhari to expose terrorism sponsors. UK's global HIV funding cut endangers 2023 AIDS terminal date. Marketers failed to offtake 450,000 MT of cooking metric ton of cooking gas amid demand and price hike. These are stories that made the front page of the Guardian.
So the Punch newspaper this morning, I have experts lament as federal government spent 20 billion naira on idle at Jaukuta Steel in 6 years. Senator laments 14-year blackout in Ondo local government areas, demands action. That's on the page 28 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Police begin probe as Ogun missing man found dead in SUV. 6 grandchildren escape death as Ondo collapsed building kills 90-year-old landlord held. And also recurrent expenditure gets 18.7 billion naira, capital 1.4 billion naira under Buhari regime. Ajaokuta Steel Project, a waste of government scarce resources, says experts. Also on the page 20 of the Punch newspaper, I have Buhari demands PIA amendment, ignores host communities 3% agitation. Five banks fined 1.4 billion naira for forex infractions. Others. UK employs 353 Nigerian doctors in 100 days. Contractors begin preliminary work on 1.9 billion naira Kano Niger Republic rail line. And finally, I have 51 days after resident doctors vow to continue strike. And that's it on the Punch newspaper this morning.
You know, that just gives me a huge scare this morning if the doctors are still planning to continue their strike. All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. Anti-open grazing, El Rufai attacks southern governors. They are making political law that can be implemented. That's coming from governors of the states in the south. 17 of them came under attack by the Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai. He charged them for enacting the anti-open grazing laws in their domain. It's not implementable, accusing them of politicizing the headers farmers' crisis, which led to the states to decide on making the law. He gave themselves the September headline. The governors have met 3 times this year under the banner of the Southern Governors Forum at Asaban last week in Enugu. Government raises $4 billion Eurobonds to finance the 2021 budget. VAT crisis lingers, multiple cases create uncertainty over collection sharing of August remittance. Lagos not satisfied with the AGF directive to firms on payment. Akeredolu State should collect it. NGF to take position soon. Nigeria's security threat complex, says IG. Osun makes 19.6 billion naira from the IGR. All right, agency, 1.8 million fully vaccinated in Nigeria. Jega Utomi, others flout Rescue Nigeria projects. Buhari seeks removal of ministers from NNPC Limited Board. And the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics reports 28% of Nigerians lose jobs to COVID-19. Of course, aggrieved Oyo PDP members plan parallel Congress burial for Ndubuisi Kanu scheduled for the 16th of October 2021.
And the stories that made it to the front page of this day newspaper this morning, I start with Buhari proposes new amendments to PIA, nominate regulatory boards, seek expansion of upstream, midstream memberships, appoints Komalafe CEO of URC, retains DPR's Awalu, removes Petroleum Finance Ministries from agency boards, sends EFCC board nominees for approval, and also banditry has transformed into insurgency. Time to eliminate them, Masari warns. House alleges fleeing bandit from Katsina, Zamfara attacking Kano State, and also Emir condemns dialoguing with criminals. 2023, Jega Bugaje Abdul Fattah, Utomi Adeniro, others from political group, and also I have. I feel your pain. It's though a picture story this morning, but this is coming from Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade to the widow of late General Anthony Ukpo, retired Mrs. Salome Ukpo, and that okay. I also have federal government rights OPEC 6 higher oil production quota, and in show of strength, Nigeria raises 4 billion naira through Eurobonds. And that's the stories that made it to the front page of this day newspaper this morning.
All right, let's quickly take this commercial break. When we return, we look at house helps, how and why Nigerians mistreat their house helps. We'll be back shortly.
Dermatologically tested Bevan Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, barrier to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.
Welcome back. It's still the bumper breakfast. I'm particularly excited this morning about this topic because quite a number of people have posted videos on social media talking about how badly they've been treated by their ogas, in quote as they call it, or sometimes how badly the ogas have been mistreated by their, in quotes, house helps. Now, we have this many stories making the rounds on social media, but I like to share one. But before I do that, let's introduce Wemi now. Wemi,
Yes. Very important.
Wemi, where is the blast that you're supposed to bring from?
When is
No
Irish?
comment.
Good morning. Thank you for looking green.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And today is Mariam's birthday.
Whoa, I was saying that there's something,
There's something
unusual. So
Can't you see the number of colors on her fingers?
That's awesome. But she looks very, very
You know, she
awesome.
looks.
very much.
I mean, today she's trying to like, okay, you know what? Let them know that I'm a birthday girl. I need to
look
share.
so good.
I need to share.
Thank you.
I need to share.
Thank
I need
you.
to share. I need.
Thank you
Yes,
so
we're
much.
still talking about house helps, and I said I wanted to share a story. So, a lot of us are quite familiar with this elderly woman, who was poisoned with sniper.
Yes.
An elderly woman, I think she was an octogenarian. She was in her 60s or thereabout, or her 70s or 80s. That she was close to 80, 90. She was poisoned with sniper by a house help. Now, I observed and I found out that this has become a norm in recent times. From that story, beyond that story, we've had series of cases. Now, we've also had videos being shared on social media abroad by Nigerians who talk about Nigerian women, elderly women, sometimes family, sometimes not family, who are living with them abroad, who also mistreat their children. Did you see the video of a particular mama who refused to feed the baby and kept smacking the baby and all that, not knowing that the parents had the CCTV in the house? And when they came back home, and this was not in Nigeria, but they were Nigerians, I'm now concerned because I now witnessed one personally, quite a number of, let me just say in the last 24 months, where the help finds it difficult. I think I told Wemi about this. The help finds it difficult to eat food in the food that she cooked
in the house.
in the house, because the madam would always complain, do you people want to finish the food? We want to finish my food? We want to, And I just observed that the girl wasn't eating. And I kept asking the question, why are you not eating? Why do you cook for people and then not eat from the food? And she said to me, I know you can't complain now. I said, why would Auntie complain? It's food. Food. And then, it's so bad that we cannot even say for a fact that she will be given extra things, like she needs sanitary pad. She can ask. I mean, somebody doesn't give you food, we don't automatically not buy you sanitary
Not
pad.
give you some other things.
It makes sense. Is it a Nigerian thing for us to mistreat our house help and for our house help to mistreat? Because I think those children, I'm not the psychologist here, Wemi is, but I think those children are just getting back at their madams and ogas based on what they had been done to them, whether in the same premises or in the previous premises. But one thing is sure, somebody is getting back at somebody. But what is the madam's
For
excuse?
being maltreated.
For being maltreated.
Yes, you're
What is
right.
the madam's excuse?
I'm going to take it from different perspective though, but I would love Wemi to, as a psychologist, a certified psychologist, to say something. Then I will now come, from my own standpoint.
Wemi, is it a Nigerian thing?
Is it a Nigerian thing?
Have-
No.
Have you ever heard?
I think it's a human thing.
Are you?
A
Is
personal
it an African thing?
It's not an African thing. It's a human thing.
Okay, the human that are black or in this side of the world.
Okay, it's more of a psychiatric disorder.
Ah,
Because let me put it this way. Okay, people who have gone through, let's say, traumatic experiences
Yes.
in life. And when we talk about trauma, we're not talking about those big bangs. Okay, we're also talking about those little things where you felt less privileged growing up. So when you now have the opportunity, you are in the power, you carry out the same issue, the same treatment that was meted on you, there's every likelihood if you were never rearranged up here, you will replicate it in someone else.
Oh, to do it to somebody else.
So most times, people who maltreat house helps, in quote,
Were
or younger ones
maltreated.
and all, were maltreated. So because you can't be in a normal
So,
human
like a
sense
circle of abuse.
Yes,
and
we see it
maltreat
as
another
norm.
human being. And that's why we talk about abuse. Abuse runs in circles. If you don't break it, the circle continues.
Let me tell you one thing else I heard. It just
Yes.
dropped in my spirit now. I once listened to a woman I used to respect, or I still respect a lot, but, gave me that boundary. Say categorically that, mo le sun ori bed tomo don sun.
It's a mindset one. It's because when you have not been rescued in your mind, okay, from where you're coming from, you cannot rescue another person. Now, if you have, number one, we need to look at the dignity of human being as first, okay, because whether it's omodo, house help, whatever, that person is a human being. So if you were maltreated, okay, and you do not see the need for the dignity, your dignity has been depleted, you won't see the need for another human being, whether as house help, as cook, as whatever, to be dignified. So you will think, what they did to me is the same thing
I must do
deserve.
too.
Yeah, so usually, that was why I said it's not a Nigerian thing, it's a human thing. And I categorize it as a psychiatric
Disorder.
So that's what we say. In adverse childhood experiences, we say, when you get to a certain stage, dig deep. Go back to where you're coming from. Make sure you are completely detached, or you can manage it, so you won't meet it on another person.
You see, another thing that really baffles me with this is the fact that there are agencies of government who are meant to rescue these people. And for those who are watching us and wondering what we're talking about, we're discussing this advent of Nigerians, I will call it Nigerians, or the habit of mistreating, maltreating, dehumanizing domestic staff, house help, to be very precise. Someone lacked a driver and he needed a driver desperately. And I had to ask his last driver, why did you stop working for your guy? He said, because he's always slapping me from the back.
That's abuse.
He said, he's always slapping me from the, as in, there is no day you're in the car with him that is not. He said, when he doesn't slap you, he slaps you with words. It makes you feel so little.
Irritating the person.
So little that at the end of the day, you find out that you're losing more being in that person's, jurisdiction, that person's environment. So the guy rather became jobless than work for the man.
I think sometimes these, employers act this way because, of their own experience also.
Yeah.
I've seen someone, let me say, maltreat the so-called omodo, because the one she had before the new one maltreated her children. So she feels, because I'm so busy, I need someone, but then the person is going to be the one that will transfer all the aggression on. You get? But then when, some of our people spoke to her, she changed
A bit.
orientation.
A bit.
Yes, she changed.
Do you know that the government actually arrests people? The National Human Rights Commission actually does arrest, hand them over to the police. I mean, these orgas who maltreat these kids.
But don't be surprised, this omodos also act weighed.
Because
We
I know
we have
What
some
we
that
see-
are
we
wicked
see, I'm
naturally.
looking at
Some
things.
work because they
I'm
want
looking
to.
at things outside the box. You're talking about women, you're talking about a child, we are talking about individuals who have been abused. The child who came in all the way from wherever, okay, is maybe on the way, had to, is a victim of abuse.
wherever
You're
he's coming or she's coming from.
transporting her, human traffic
Because-
victim. You are bringing her into an abusive environment. You think she's going to behave normal? No. There is no human being who has gone through one traumatized experience or another that did not get help that will behave normal. They can't take care of
Because
the
sometimes
children.
when you take
Because
very
this
good care of these
individual
ones.
is not okay.
Normal.
That's the thing. Because we need to start looking at it from this angle. I'm not against people getting people to help. But don't use them basically to help you. See how you would help them too.
First of all.
And then if you're going to help, have you been helped yourself?
Be sure they are sane and psychologically balanced.
You know, another thing that I'd like to talk about, I mean, when people have help, another big deal about it is the ogas decide to as in become useless.
Yes.
They just become
themselves.
useless.
So person, do this for me.
I
Run
mean,
my errands.
I mean, they're like, wash my
Everything.
feet, cut my nails.
No problem. The day you
Brush.
surrender the entire life, your entire life into the hand of the housemaid, then you have told the housemaid that at any time you can snipe at me.
do
That's
so,
the implication
do
of
so
what you are
perfect.
doing.
It's so
You see, when
pathetic.
you bring them in, one of the things I advocate is sit with them one-to-one. If you show interest in any house help, let me use that word, the person will in turn show interest in you without selling the mentality of slavery to them. I'm here, I want to know about you. How do you think I can help you? Once you start with that, you are already taking over the orientation of the person, because they are coming with an orientation. You know, it's modern day slavery as far as I'm
True.
concerned.
Modern
So
day.
they already
told.
believe I'm being exchanged from one master to
another master.
But this master, I'm in charge of you to some extent, so I can also deal with you sort of. But for
Your life
sake,
is in my hands, so
for your sake and the sake of the people in your family, show interest
In
and
the maid
show care,
or-
show love. All right, because when in psychology there's something we usually call I don't want to use the technical terms now, but it has to do with appealing to somebody's conscience. There's nobody you show love, care to that the conscience will be dead. But when you maltreat them, you don't show love, you don't care about them, you are sealing it up with somebody who already is traumatized. So what do you expect?
let me take this break. Wemima is the expert this morning. Someone is in the studio who has been dealing with different issues of house help, maids, domestic staff who have been mistreated at one point or the other. She'll be sharing some stories with us after this break.
Peppermint soft, babies are comfy. Peppermint's dry, babies don't cry. It's economic, that's fantastic. Peppermint's superior, babies are happier. Peppermint's elastic, babies feel fantastic. And did I ever tell you about its price? It's economic and that's really nice. Good price, more smiles. Peppermint's more smiles. Good price, more smiles.
Dermatologically tested Bevan Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, barrier to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.
Peppermint smiles.
Little blackbird, are you listening? Little blackbird, are you listening? I'll tell you a story of a little girl who had to grow up now. I know you put yourself in that same headspace. Insults got that crown weighing heavy on your head. You define beauty, you're a perfect creation. Love, oh, you're grow up now. Your skin's the constant talk of the town. Superpowers lie in the kinks of your fro. They can't see the countless shades of black. There's black girl magic in time. You will find it. Little blackbird, are you listening? Little blackbird, are you listening? I'll tell you a story of a little girl who had to grow up now. Blackbird, stand proud. Blackbird, be you. Let no one dim your shine, 'cause you're one of a kind. Blackbird, fly free. No storm can stop you. Blackbird, you're brighter than the stars. Little blackbird, are you listening? Little blackbird, are you listening? I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. Blackbird, take flight.
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. It's a shout out. First of all, I need to do a shout out to my lawyer, Barrister Idowu Okwejo. Thank you for taking that picture and sending it down to us. It's been exciting. The conversation we're having this morning, I'm sure that you want to contribute to. You can call in when we open up the phone lines much later. And Miriam, you need to remind me to commiserate with the family before we go on the Bumper Breakfast this morning. All right, so yes, as we are just talking to the birthday girl, our guest did walk into the studio. I don't know what is it with this seat. It attracts yellow people, right?
Yes. Not just yellow. You know, we have some fair people that are not. But this time around, fair, elegant, gorgeous.
Okay. So another yellow babe joins us this morning.
Yellow Sissy.
Yellow Sissy. That's a song.
Yes.
You should sing it.
Yes, sir.
You should sing it. Patricia Okosodo is here with us this morning on the Bumper Breakfast. Patricia has been doing great work with her NGO. She is the convener of the Golden Integrated Empowerment Foundation, and she's been rendering, as young as she is, a lot of service to humanity, always blessing many people. And so when I told her, I said, Patricia, we're going to be talking about how people mistreat their house elves. She was like, oh, in fact, let me read. She said, wow, interesting. Patricia, good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. She's my neighbor, mind you.
I love
Neighbor.
Ah, it's like 3 colors.
It's look beautiful.
It's 3 colors. Don't tell people. It's 3 colors.
Beautiful.
You know,
So let's talk,
Tommy is
Patricia.
always stylish with our hairstyle.
Yeah.
Yes, I tell you. She
is.
celebrates culture.
Yeah, the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm really feeling like I should put beads in my hair.
Yes.
I wish you could braid my hair too.
You're on a low cut, babe. Why did you braid it? How?
The secret now.
Okay, you're on Oyibo here. You're on Oyibo here. I agree with you, so Oyibo here. Well, let's talk about house elves. Before you came in, Wemimo was telling us that majority of these house elves are going through or are already traumatized, whatever they're coming from. And then if you don't show them love, they will definitely continue down the path of trauma, either inflicting it on you or your family members. That was our professional, that is Wemima's professional, summation of the whole
From the
story.
psychologist
From the
angle.
psychologist angle. From your experience working with an NGO, how bad has it been?
For me, this topic is very interesting, and I think a lot of us shy away from topics like this because we feel these people are slave, modern slave, but they are not.
Aha, we also mentioned
Yes,
something like modern slavery.
They're not
Okay.
slaves.
Okay.
They are just unfortunate to be in the situation they are. Okay. Let me take myself for instance. I told myself when I was in India for that 1 year, I said I was going to write a book on the maid. Why? Because I was 24 hours giving my mother attention and also taking care of her, cooking, washing, medical, everything. And I put myself right there in a maid's position. I just dipped myself in it. Even when I was sick, when I was so tired, I was still doing those things for her because I know she couldn't do it because she was sick. My point now is that sometimes put yourself
In their position.
in their position. Do you know that? We grew up with maids when my dad was alive some years, 27 years ago. We grew up with maids, and I used to call them Auntie Fumi. I never knew they were maids because of the way my mother treated them. They were like my mom's sister. So I used to call them Auntie Fumi, this, that. So even when they were having war in their country, Cotonou then, they had to keep them, my mom had to keep them, take care of them. They dress so elegant that you will never even
Figure
differentiate
out.
them from,
The kids in the house.
do you understand? This is my point. We had about 3 of them then. You understand? My dad was always traveling and he was busy. Mom gave birth to a lot of kids, 6. So if love speaks the word, I think we should put this. Love is the language. Religion is on its own. Love is the religion.
That's
I speak.
another thing. I think people use that religious part to also inflict harm. For example, one of my aunts' maid got married last year. And when I say a maid got married, during the COVID era, she bought her a car as a wedding present.
Wow.
As in, she bought her a car,
That's wow.
a 2 million naira car.
Yeah.
She was weeping, the girl was crying, the husband's people were crying, everybody. She did a private, COVID era, you want to get married. It's a
Yeah.
private thing.
An elegant.
She paid Ikoyi registry to come and conduct the wedding in the house.
Wow.
She used her backyard, decorated to the tooth. Got the same person who planned Yinka Odumakin's burial was the one who planned her wedding.
Wow.
Decoration, food. I'm talking about everything you can think of. Yinka Alashiyori, Ade Yinka Alashiyori was the one who sang at the wedding. This was so the front yard was the wedding service, the backyard was the engagement and reception. It was beautiful.
And she's the maid.
See, she's the Omo. You want to speak it in normal language? Omo Odowo. The girl had been living with her for 12 years.
Wow.
And she said something very important. She said, I wouldn't have a career. These kids would not be alive if not for this girl. There is no visa that is not on that girl's passport.
Wow.
This is what we talk
Because
about.
the woman travels all over the world. So she said, it is Emiko. She was saying, Titi, Emiko iwo kan ni o. Amojo te bi pa wa. Amojo ta su. Amojo ta gbawe. Amojo ta. You will see the relationship that it was a mother
And daughters.
and daughter. The father was just like this. At the back. He couldn't even come forward. And this girl had no mother again. Now imagine that kind of a situation where by the time the
That's
girl
how
was
it
done,
is.
the family of the husband, they were standing aloof and they just kept kneeling down, thanking her,
Yeah.
doing this because they couldn't imagine. So she was like, I'm doing this for you. Wow.
Yes.
Emma ma treat omo mi o.
Yes.
Mommy.
The guy does not have a car, she gave them a car. So this is my daughter's wedding gift, a car. So she's coming to your house fully
Packaged.
packaged. So imagine that kind of, you now imagine this is house help. Oh.
Listen, do you know one of my mentors told me something? He said when they brought, because I always ask him, "Oh, that's your sister." He said, "No, that's our house help." But because the way she dressed and everywhere, the way she is, she looks so pretty just with the kids. She said that when that girl came to the house, she used to go to the kitchen to eat. She told her never to eat in the kitchen. She should
Whereas
always
some people
sit.
refuse their mates
She should
food
always sit on the dining table
with
to
everybody
eat.
else.
The point is that because of the world we are in is harsh, is hostile, is full of a lot of problems, evil. Mentally, people think evil, even without the environment being evil. So when you're bringing somebody in, you already start thinking evil that this person is, you're bringing a maid. The first thing you start thinking in your mind, oh, this person will steal my money. This person will steal this person will do this. So consciously, you're developing bitterness in your heart for that maid already.
That you have not even met before.
So when they bring that maid, even if she's okay, everybody have their flaws. Even your own brothers and sisters, they can be hell or headache. So why
To you.
So why when you bring a maid to the house, you don't project evil. You pray for the maid because you're coming into my house. I don't know your attitude. I don't know your behavior. You commit her into God's hands because she's God's creation. She's a human being created by God. You understand? You're just like you're adopting a child. That's how a maid is. You're adopting a child that is not yours. So you pray. I always tell people, pray for the maid. Let the Holy Spirit, or let God put his
Hands
his
and
hand.
heart.
Because even your own siblings can have the heart of a demon. So let God.
Not to talk of somebody else's child.
So when I see love as everything, the backbone of everything. When that girl comes into your house, if you show her love, she's not crazy. She will not. See, look at it.
So you share women's perspective as well.
See, look,
Exactly.
I didn't even know, I didn't get to hear her speak. But look at the eyes. Do you know sometimes when someone is so tired and she's walking, you could
Exactly,
look at
you
their
see it
eyes
in their
and
eyes.
say, this person is tired. You know when they are tired, they are not machines.
They're humans.
You see, they are not machines. They wake up by 5, they clean the house.
They sleep by
late.
12:30, 1 o'clock.
They sleep
And
late.
wake up by 5. And when they're not awake by 5, you're already smacking them,
Let me tell you,
screaming,
this
slamming the
a
door.
young girl in my mom's place that's staying with us like an adopted child. My mom would tell her, do you know one day I saw my mom washing? And I'm like, Mom, why are you washing? Why are you washing clothes? Glory is there. Glory was saying, Mom, stop washing. Like, they said, Glory, let me wash. I know all of us came from night duty. We're all tired. Let me be washing. I sat and I was watching
what's the
I was
need for-
watching my mother like.
And so I think the people, the younger generation who become wicked to their house help are wicked because their mothers were wicked to their house help.
Yes.
Exactly.
They learnt it from
And
both.
Yes.
they
And
have
Yoruba
this-
man sọ
they
pé
have
ilé la
this-
ti ń kẹ́ṣọ̀ọ́ ròde.
Exactly.
They
They have
learn
this mindset
the
that I'm gonna pay you.
abusive way from home. Charity begins from home. You know, when you show love to
That
your
is what
kids,
ilé la ti ń kẹ́ṣọ̀ọ́ ròde
when you
actually
show
means.
love
Charity
in
begins from home.
to your kids, when they go out, even when you don't have house help, when you show love to your own kids, when they go out and they have house help, the children transfer the love to the kids, to the
kids,
same
to the
house
house
help.
help.
You understand? And there's one picture I saw when the woman beats the house help. And
I have so
all
many of
whole,
them, but they are
lot
too
of-
gory for me to
yes,
share.
too
Gory,
yes.
too
So,
gory.
and I'm like, how could you do that? You are a wicked person naturally. A wicked person is a wicked person. Let us be blunt. Some people are naturally wicked. So if you see an housemaid being maltreated, it is a character that is in that person. A good character builds a good character. There's no, character is like smoke. You bring an housemaid, oh, she steals your, have you not steal so before? Are you perfect? It's only when something is consistent
That it becomes a problem.
that
need
you
to-
have to, you cannot do it. You don't kill
But
the
then
person.
I have a question.
Send the person back.
I have a question. You know, sometimes you're nice to your mates, and
Okay.
unfortunately, you get those mates that will turn out to be devilish.
Okay.
Naturally.
Okay.
So, do you think it's not a
Send them
character
packing.
that births character?
No. Send them
Okay, this
Kind
is
of.
it. Sometimes when you overdo things for your own siblings, they tend to abuse it. That's when they tell you, what have you done for me? I beg you. A maid will do the same. Look at the maid like one of your siblings.
Children.
Even
You won't pamper,
see,
you won't over pamper.
when you
them.
over pamper them, it's a problem. So when you see that the character you cannot take, instead of killing that maid or maltreating to a fault, you send away. But sometimes you need to train that maid as your own child. If you have to discipline in love. You can't say because she's a maid you don't want to beat.
Because
If
I
you-
pay her. Some people
Yes,
have that.
if you do something
It's my
that is
money.
not right, hey, my friend, come. If you know, she's learning from you, she's going to get married, or he or she's going to get married. She's going to take whatever character she's learned from you to her husband's house. Why did you do this? Do you know that when you marry now, you go and start misbehaving in your husband's house? They will ask you, where did you come from? You treat that fuck up right there. But if you see that the maid has refused to change, because some people have a very strong heart and they don't change, before you start building up evil in your heart, you send the person away.
Get them out of your environment. We've been talking about how Nigerians treat their house help, and I'd like to open up the phone lines for just about 5 minutes. The number is right there on the screen. You can send your messages, send your WhatsApp, or do a phone call to the number on the screen and let us talk about this together. I'm trying. You see, Nigerians like to send messages first. They like to call first. We've had so many missed calls and quite a number of people. All right, good morning. Good to have you on the Bumper Breakfast.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you calling from, sir?
Mr. Michael calling from Pada.
Mr. Michael from Iyanokwaja, quickly contribute to today's topic.
What the contribution I want to make is about what the other fat woman, the comment she made.
Okay, sir.
First, I was very appreciating the way the fat woman was talking about showing love. When
Yes.
you are bringing a housemate, first of all, show her love. Bring her like your own blood child or blood daughter. Then when you show her love and bring her mind like that, like if it's with her own personal family, then she will come down to your level. Then you now bring your own orientation to the girlfriend, to the housemate.
Okay.
Then you see that you people will blend together. But whenever you start to show her, I am madam of the house, you are my housemate, I will begin to maltreat her in her or begin to command her in her, she will not listen to you. She's just like a wounded lion. She's not happy to be in that
situation.
In that situation. So don't treat her with harsh voice, but treat her with love. Then you now later come down to your own level. You will become like a daughter to you. Then you will not have mind of bothering you or any other thing like that again. But whenever you start to take yourself like you are more than her, it's not up to you, you begin to handle her, then you see a different color of her. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Michael, for contributing this morning. All right, let's get the messages coming. 08064738133 is the number to call. Is right there on the screen. I'll try to take some messages. Those who are greeting, thank you so much for greeting me. I'm trying as much as possible to pick the ones that are totally relevant to the conversation of this morning. But as we begin to round off this conversation, hello, good morning. Good morning, your name and where you calling from? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I really like your topic.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask a question
Yes, sir.
from woman.
From Patricia.
Psychology.
Okay.
Is there anything that the government can do about some people that are naturally wicked? Some people are naturally wicked.
Okay. When Wemimo comes back on set, we'll talk about it. Wemimo is the psychologist. Thank you so much for contributing. Wemimo, hope you're hearing. Is there something that government can do about people who are naturally wicked? Patricia, I need to say thank you to you for coming on the Bumper Breakfast. We expect you again next week. Let's keep talking about these things. We'll take this break. When we return, our dearest duo. You see, this team, I almost want to stand up from the set and run away. From Alhaji Razak Olokoba and Wemi Madeni. Their topic this morning is hot, hot, hot. But we'll be back with it after this break.
Peppermint soft, babies are comfy. Peppermint's dry, babies don't cry. It's economic, that's fantastic. Peppermint's a barrier, babies are happier. Peppermint's elastic, babies feel fantastic. And did I ever tell you about its price? It's economic and that's really nice. Good price, more smiles. Peppermint's more smiles. Good price, more smiles.
Dermatologically tested Bevan Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, barrier to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.
Me smiles.
Hello, it's me. I am to the end of time. 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 Let me be all for you. 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 The man that takes you there. Let me be all for you. Let me be all for you. I paid you if I didn't money forever. Let me be one for. Let me be one for. Let me be one for. I will never let you go down with terrorize. You made me all my bed. Let me be the one for. Let me be the one. I wanna be the one. Baby, to the end of time. 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 Let me be the one for you. 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 The only man that takes you there. Let me be the one for you. Let me be the one for you. I'm in love with you. For the first time I said